I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited that today has finally come. I'm Uma Joy, your host for Reclaiming Joy, a Midlife Awakening, where we will look at the lives that we want to live, the lives that we love, and find parts of us that maybe we have put aside, forgotten, hidden, are ready to bring back into our lives. I'm so happy that you're here. And I'm really excited for what we have, who we have joining us for the next 2 weeks. A wonderful line of women who have inspiring gifts, insights, insights, processes to help us reconnect with the delight and the joy inside of us, that which feeds us, that which is not necessarily what everybody else wants us to do. But what are our dreams? What are the dreams that we have put aside and forgotten or never even knew? And now it is our time. So I invite you to get a cup of tea, turn your phone off, take a few deep breaths just to settle in. I know I'm excited. And it's also a time that we get to just slow down and to be present in this moment. Before we go farther, I would like to invite Shiloh Sophia, who is with us today, to co-open this series with me. Shiloh is a poet, an artist, the leader of an amazing movement called Intentional Creativity. She's a teacher. She is my very, very dear friend and mentor. And she's with us to help to say hello and welcome all of you beautiful women that are here joining us today. Shiloh.
Hello, everyone. It's Shiloh Sophia here, and I am so delighted to be a part of this experience of opening and awakening up to our joy and having this midlife awakening instead of a midlife meltdown. I love Uma Joy. I've had the opportunity to work with her closely as a colleague and a friend and an intentional creativity teacher over many years, and I'm so excited about what she's bringing forward. She is such a wild woman, while at the same time so grounded and soulful. So I just bless all of you for this experience. I feel so thrilled that women are gathering together. I invite you to take this joyfully and also seriously, to make time to spend in the company of sisters on the path together. When we are together, there's an opportunity to make a shift that we wouldn't otherwise be able to make. It's what happens when women gather. So I'm delighted to share a red thread ceremony with you and a poem. And I just love seeing such supportive, intelligent, creative, revolutionary women coming together to make magic. Many blessings on your journey.
Wow, Shiloh. That was really kind and very beautiful. Thank you so much. You know, as Shiloh says, as women together, we are so strong. And as we'll see with the red thread sharing in a few moments, that's what this is about. The connectivity, the connecting of women, and how powerful and supportive that is for each of us. There isn't a scarcity. There's not a competition that needs to happen. There is enough for all of us. And together, we are so much stronger. I love the words, this is not a midlife meltdown. This is a midlife awakening. We get to create whatever we want, and it's exciting. This is our time, and we get to make it whatever we want. Shiloh also said about my wild woman, and here on my altar is my wild woman. I don't know if you can see her here, the pure delight on her face, that it's like, yes, this yes to life. And I think that for so long, I hid her or only let her out little bits and pieces once in a while. And so she's often with me to remind me there are other parts of me. Yes, I do want to be grounded, and I tend to be more often a serious, quiet person. And we have different parts of us. Each of us have those different parts. So we get to reconnect with them, rediscover, um, allow them to come out. And that's just part of us. We have many parts. So if you have red thread or red yarn, you might want to have that with you. You don't need it. We often work with the quantum field anyway. But do have some paper and a pen. If you have a journal, that's great. Though I do want to remind you or let you know that our next session is with Kat Geller, who leads us in an amazing process called Cosmic Smashbooking. It's a delightful journal to create and have with us. And so even if you write on paper, you can still add that to your Cosmic Smash book later. So for right now, we're going to go back to Shiloh, and Shiloh is going to read or share a poem with us that she has written that is very right for the moment and to lead us in a red thread sharing. So back to you, Shiloh.
A reading from Tea with the Midnight Muse. Festival of the Open Heart. Look, there is a festival happening, and we are gathering in the streets to be in the space of what moves us. Stop trying to save yourself. Choose to enter into the pleasure and chaos of being so very alive. I know you don't feel like it. Bones and head and heart complain and strain against this idea of this kind of joy. I'm talking to myself here, as artists and poets often do, and I'm also talking to you. Would we rather stay locked up in the story of our own making, where we are always right and safe? I don't know about you, but I'm putting on my red dress. Yes, right now, and the golden boots and my rhinestone cowgirl hat. I'm closing the eyes that fear being seen and opening the eyes that love to be seen while dancing in the streets of love. The drum that heralds the start of the festival begins to beat. Can you hear it? Match your heart to that pace. There are many things that would take us away from what we love and dream of. Too busy to dance, to sing, to chant, to pray, and to play. I'm not saying life isn't hard. I know it is. I just want to choose to walk a sacred path instead of using all my energy in survival. We are divine love on earth, and when we dance in this way, we dance with the beloved in our arms. To begin, we must open our arms wide enough to let something or someone in. Let us make our way into the love zone. I will be at the festival if you want to find me. Oh, what's that you say? Oh, good. You are coming. And because of you, this is going to be a great time. When we are old, we won't say we regretted this. We will say, remember the festival? The one that changed everything. This is, of course, the festival of the open heart. There's a chance to join in every single day if we choose to take part. I cannot think of any place I would rather be than here with you, moving to the pace of beauty. A little meditation. Living from your yes. Have you been withholding yourself from what you want? Without actually meaning to, many of us have been holding ourselves back from what we really want. Whether that is from self-judgment or fear, the result is we don't experience enough yes in our body and soul. We sit the dance out. We don't throw our hat into the ring. We give the seat to someone else. We just let go instead of letting ourselves have more of what would bring us delight. We let desire go dormant. Living from the yes place begins with choosing to participate, which means moving through fear while the fear is still present. This is easier said than done. Otherwise, we would have done it, right? We are afraid we'll feel like a fool. Well, sometimes we will. Better to embrace the fool. Will you allow less fear and more play to move through you? Joy rippling through you. Just try it. Saying yes changes how your body, mind, spirit, and relationship feel. And it helps the no become more clear. Imagine you are living into your yes. See yourself as an embodied yes. What do you see or notice when you have a full body yes? So I just invite you to close your eyes wherever you are and just take a moment and move around a little bit, find a little bit of space right where you are, and just be with this idea of saying yes. And what do you notice? I invite you to consider conjuring up, summoning a feeling of pleasure rippling through your body. You could start at the top of your head, at your toes, in your heart, in your vulva, in your tummy, in your hands. Just ask, what part of me wants to rise up into a juicy yes? See if you can just create an experience of pleasure within your own body just through asking. A ripple of pleasure, of presence. Just to be in a space of what yes is, as if yes is surrounding you. Yes to vitality, yes to more pleasure, yes to more joy. Yes to allowing yourself to be more self-expressed instead of constrained and restrained and always trying to get it right. The tyranny of looking good keeping us from taking up the space that is ours to take up. You have a space. You have a space all around you. It's your field. And the electromagnetic field of your heart ripples out from your physical body out 15 or 20 feet and ripples back to you and interacts with each other. Imagine that you can see that rippling and allow the pleasure to extend even further out. Allow breath to move through your vessel. And how do you feel? Notice just how do you feel? How do you feel in here, inside this temple of you? Thank you for saying yes to just hanging out with me here for a minute as we explore this idea of being at cause for our own midlife awakening. I'm Shiloh Sophia, and my work is all about what I call intentional creativity. And intentional creativity simply means to create with intention. That could be painting, writing, dancing, beading, being together, or summoning awareness and awakening within this vessel of you. And today, as a part of this exploration of joy, I wanted to come over and visit all of you where you are and understand that, and invite you to get an understanding of how truly connected we are. That I'm where I am and you are where you are, but we're together in a quantum way, which is represented by the red thread. The red thread is something that myself and many of my community members work with. We think of it as a sign of protection and a sign of connection. And when we have these quantum community experiences, it's a visual symbol that connects all of us, a reminder of our interconnected, really relationships even if we've never met or may never meet, we're still on each other's thread because we're here right now. Many legends of the red thread say that those who are supposed to connect will eventually connect because they're on each other's thread. But we can say no to the connection. We can miss it through not seeing our yes. So I want to extend this red thread to you and imagine that it's going to you and that it's being passed to each woman, going around the circle, weaving us all together. See all of us in this circle, woven, together. Just visualize it. Imagine the red thread going around the world, connecting each of us. It's an amazing feeling. Let yourself feel that connection. Step out of the sense of being isolated and move into connectivity because it's real. But we practice it. One of the other teachings about the red thread for so many women who do so much to serve others is the sense that if each woman is holding her piece of the red thread, she's only responsible for the piece that she's holding. She's not responsible for everybody else's, but she is responsible to know what her piece is. So as you imagine the ball of red thread coming into your hands, or maybe you have one, I invite you to just ponder if you were saying yes to yourself, your life, and what is really coming from within you. How would you give language to that? What would your piece of the red thread be? And have you been withholding joy, pleasure, possibility, friendship, connection from yourself? A lot of times we place these constraints around ourselves and we don't even know. And they're just there binding us, keeping us contained. And we need to consciously choose to release ourselves from that containment and find ourselves in the company of other sisters along the red thread. So if you're living into your yes, if you're not constantly modifying yourself to fit in or to get it right, what would you be saying yes to? You can write that in your journal. What's your yes? Another writing prompt I'd like you to journal into is, where have you been constraining or holding yourself back? Where have you been putting a cage around yourself that you're no longer willing to? Like, no longer willing to put a cage around yourself, and to journal into that. You can just do a little now, or pause and come back, or take more time later. Another journal prompt is, what are you saying no to? Here's the amazing thing. When you know what your yes is, you also get to know what your no is, what you're no longer willing to say yes to that isn't right. This is different than the constraints that you put on yourself or the way you cage yourself. This is saying no to relationships or situations or things where you overgive. What would you be saying no to? You can spend as long as you need on these and come back. And I want to just tell a little story. So tonight I'm going to a party and it's a formal. And my husband Jonathan is going to be wearing a tuxedo, the same tuxedo we got married in. And I was picking out my outfit and I noticed the dress I was going to wear had a giant hole in it. And I looked around in my closet and I'm like, you know what? I don't have any formal wear. Not only that, I don't have any dress-up shoes, and my black cowboy boots are broken down, and I don't even have anything to wear with that formal dress. I went back and forth with Jonathan about what I should do, and I could do this or I could do that, and da-da-da. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I am going to put on my leopard cowgirl boots, and I'm going to put on my sequin cowgirl hat, and I'm going to put on a dress, but I'm going to wear a pink feathered boa. I'm going to go as me. And it's interesting because you would think, because I live so much of my life into yes and out loud, that that wouldn't be such a big deal. But it was quite a revelation for me to realize that outside of my work context, where I'm very playful, I go out in the world and I'm not necessarily showing up at that level of how I really am, but that is how I really am. And so that's what I'm doing. It's a subtle thing. For women, it's sort of a sneaking up on us where all of a sudden we want the hot pink, or we want the leopard, or we want the overalls and the combat boots, or there's something about the visualness of seeing things differently, of saying yes to what we want to eat, to saying yes to how we want to feel, of just so many levels, it really goes into the granularity of what kind of pillow are you using and does it feel really good? What about the sheets? How do those feel? Are you eating organic food that feels yummy for you? What about socks or bras or underwear? Have you purchased anything new lately that makes you feel yummy? I noticed that we just start to shut down and reuse a lot of the old things. And I'm not, advocating a huge consumerism spike or anything, but I'm just talking about the ways that women need to indulge in self-care. It's going to be different for you than it is for me and for everyone. But to ask yourself the question, how has your physical clothing, house, bed, food, how is that also a part of how you've been saying no to you, of blocking beauty? Part of having a midlife awakening instead of a midlife meltdown is to consciously choose to spend some time with you and who you are, and give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to explore and to be more and more and more of you. As you know, everyone else is already taken. So as I complete this, I just wanted to invite you, actually more like dare you, to take an action in your life within the next 3 days that is about your yes to you. Will you do that? Will you do that? Okay, good. I dare you. And share it with us. Share the dare. And if we all do it together, just think of the quantum energy of women taking risks, stepping into their beauty. I'm holding that space for you. The world needs you as you are, not as you think you should be, or not as others say you should be, but as you are. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Shiloh. There were so many pieces in that. And I want a picture of the formal event tonight with you and Jonathan. I want to see it. I hope you'll post it on Facebook for us. I love the dare of all of us. What action will we commit to taking in the next 3 days that says yes to me? The poem that you were reading, the Festival of the Heart, this is our festival. This festival of life, this festival of this online retreat, rediscovering ourselves. The idea, so many things that take us away from what we love and dream of. Too busy to dance, sing, chant, pray, and play. What if we didn't let those things hold us back? What if we didn't let things take us away from what we love? What feeds our souls? The inquiries, they're wonderful. What are you saying yes to? What are you no longer willing to say yes to, that you need to say no to, that you want to say no to? What are you going to no longer let yourself or let hold you back? During the guided meditation, saying that yes and the pleasure through your body, I could feel this ripple going through. that says yes. And there's nothing like this full body yes when we say that to whatever we're doing, as opposed to, hey, do you want to do this? Yeah, that's okay. It's like, what about the yes? And if it's not there, do I really want to say yes? Or is this the time that I get to say, no, that's not what I want to do. That's not what gives me that joy and that pleasure and that full body yes. So tomorrow we're actually Shiloh and I are going to lead you on a journal of the portal of permission. It is an intentional creativity process that we look forward to having you join us. And we'll go a little deeper into the creative aspect of getting to that portal of permission. In the meantime, enjoy Kat Geller and your smash booking. And the rest of the 2 weeks, we have so many amazing women sharing delightful insights, processes, inquiries. And I'm so glad that you're here with us, joining us. Thank you for taking the time for you, sharing it with us. So as we said, we are connected by the red thread. You are not alone. You have support, and there is always someone on the other end of the red thread. And yet you are only responsible for your part. And so, sisters, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here. Until next time, namaste.